Graham, you were married to Gramp for what, 60 plus years?
Yes.
What would you say is one of the secrets to such a long-lasting marriage?
Well, we always had one mantra that we lived by, and that was never go to bed angry.
Love it.
And that was really the main thing. To be absolutely honest, I think Grandpa was a better apologizer than I was.
Uh-huh.
However, that was something we did live by.
Always never go to bed angry and
We
always
never
apologize.
did. Never did.
You kissed and made up?
Yeah. Yeah. And usually he would come to me and he'd remember we shouldn't go to bed angry.
He wanted to make it right.
Yes.
Love
Yes.
That's a real man.
Yeah. Because I was usually right, but
Well, of course.
Of
The
course.
woman
But-
usually is.
but that's a good thing to live by.
Were there things in your marriage that you wanted but you felt like you couldn't ask for?
It's a good one.
It's a very good question, but I can't think of anything.
Well, what about being a lawyer? You said that's your biggest
But that
regret.
was before I was married. That was
I
actually that was my dad, who was a lawyer, who only knew one lawyer in his whole in those days.
You mean he only knew one female lawyer?
female lawyer.
Yep.
And in those days, most women were directed towards nursing or teaching.
Yep.
And those were the two careers. Of the two, teaching was far more
Your style.
my style, and a lot more fun.
So you became a teacher.
Yes.
So you didn't become a lawyer, obviously. And
No.
do you still have regret?
Yes, a little bit. I'm addicted to crime movies, crime books.
That's where I get it from.
Yeah.
Yes. And one of my most cherished things that I inherited from my dad was a beaten up book of the world's most famous 50 trials,
I remember
Yeah,
seeing that in
I
your
don't
house.
remember
I've
seeing
seen
that.
that.
which someday I want Samantha to have.
Would love
Yeah.
that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is there anyone else you ever chose instead of Grampy?
Not to be my husband, but at different stages in my life. When I was away at boarding school, there was someone across the river at Mount Herman. We had to be 6 feet apart when we danced,
Oh my
and
God.
the teachers were all around the gym.
How does that work?
How does that even work?
But somehow we created a relationship with notes and messages and football games. And then there were people in college, but I had already met Grampy. And on some level, I sort of knew that we'd have our ups and downs, but ultimately, this was the person who I would want to spend the rest of my life with. But yes, I did have other crushes and loves and all the fun of being with other people until I found the right one.
What would you say your biggest regret in life was?
Well, my biggest regret is probably that I didn't go to law school,
Okay.
but that would have complicated my life, and there may be other wonderful things that I never would have had. So, yes, it is a regret, but no. And another big regret is I graduated from a very wonderful school, but I very much regret not going to a co-ed college.
So where'd you go?
Very much. I went to Smith College, which was fine, but
Well, Mom, it was more than fine. It's one of the
Yes.
best women's colleges in that
But-
time.
But
but I
But-
had been accepted at Brown and Columbia and Tufts, and I would have, at that point, that many years ago, there were women's schools. Brown had Pembroke,
Right.
Columbia had Barnard,
Like sister schools.
right?
Too. Yeah.
So I don't,
Well, you said you
quite-
got on the wait list at Harvard, but,
and that I would have, yes.
but your father,
and
Didn't
not
let you-
not being accepted at Radcliffe, which was the women's part of Harvard, my father very strongly felt that of my choices, Smith was the best, and it was still the era where
you listened to your father.
I listened to my father, and
Right.
he was writing the check. That was sort of the bottom line.
So
too.
ultimately, was that the right decision, or should you have?
No, I should have gone to a co-ed school. I had gone to a women's boarding school, and
And you wanted men.
and I at that point, after 2 years at Northfield, I was ready to be in,
starved for male
and a
attention.
city, and also a city environment. Northfield is a beautiful town, but I was ready for a city life after that.
Mhm.
Okay.
City life.
When were you the happiest in your life?
Probably when my life was the most hectic and my husband was still in medical training and I was in charge of 3 children of 3 different ages, and we had very little financial resources, every part of my life was very, very difficult, but it was so full and so happy.
Mm. Would you say that too?
I absolutely would say that.
Yeah.
That I still like to be hopeful that the best years are ahead of me, but yet I was the happiest when I was just raising my 3 children and working my ass off like
Yes,
you,
yeah.
and didn't have tons of help at
Did
all.
your own gardening, your own cooking,
Did
your
everything
antiquing.
myself. Yep, did
You did.
everything.
That's fulfilling.
Very fulfilling.
Yes.
And I can't imagine a better investment,
No.
right? Investing in these babies that you just adore.
There's something about life that you don't always know when it's your happiest moment
Right.
Yeah.
because it's so full and so busy, but it is.
It's
Yeah,
not
but
until
it
you
is.
look back
Yeah.
on it that you
That's
appreciate
correct.
those times.
I think that's called perspective.
Yes. Graham, what would you say the hardest part of parenting mom was?
You can say
It-
it.
You can be honest.
You can be honest. I
The
can
fact-
take it.
The fact that she was so entirely different than her 2 older siblings, and to go back to your question about regrets, I wish I knew then what I know now, and I could have been a better mom.
No, Mom.
Like
That's
what?
Makes me sad that you say
I
that.
really feel that way.
Like
No.
what?
She had so many interests and talents that I should have helped her more. I did in the jewelry
You
business,
did, Mom.
but
I
but
love
only
you.
but there were other things that my home was too based on academics and high
It's okay.
achievement, and Grampy, being a physician, had his professional goals, and I went back to school and got a master's, and your siblings had certain goals, but Deb had other talents that were just as big.
Mm.
She was an athlete, she was an actress, she was creative. Deb has many more things
I
than
know
her
it.
older siblings, but I wasn't wise in it. My own childhood had been so narrow and so weighted with the goals that my parents gave us that I wasn't I didn't look beyond what I knew to understand Deb better.
May I say, maybe it wasn't your job to do that. Maybe you gave me the value system that allowed me to be successful, and I had to figure that stuff out for myself.
But
So maybe you were the perfect mom for me, and you gave me the wings to fly and be different than my brother and my sister, and you never made me feel like I was different. You just loved me. So I think you did great.
But when you say by myself, I don't like that. I don't want my children to ever feel by myself. Today, I know you much better, and you
That's true.
fulfilled all your talents.
Yeah,
You should be really proud of yourself.
yes, you
should.
should.
Yeah.
I know you better too, Mom.
Yeah.
We're as close as we've ever been, and it took
Right.
until later in life for us to figure each other out, maybe.
Right.
And I'm here too.
And you're here too. We love
So
you. Too.
you will take all of these conversations with you.
Absolutely.
Right.